What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Eric Hansen live on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. Man, we're back like we never even left, Eric. Man, it's been so long since you and I have done a YouTube show. Of course, we were live right after the Notre Dame Pitt game. One that, of course, the Irish won 37-15, and we will talk about that game and so much more today. But I got to let you guys know first that, of course, holiday season is here, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has the legendary gifts you need at undefeatable prices every day. Shop in-store or online at academy.com to save on gifts on everybody's list, from football jerseys and basketball hoops to fire pits and deer stands. The most wonderful time of the year happens here this holiday season. Give the gift of fun from Academy Sports and Outdoors. Eric, how are you doing on this fine Sunday, sir?
Doing great. Doing a lot of research today.
On
who might be the best possible playoff opponent for Notre Dame and who might be the worst possible matchup.
I feel like I inspired this. I feel like that's something we've talked about before.
It did inspire. And when I saw one of the tweets that you put out of the bracket, it also inspired me. And I thought, aha, this is worth digging into today.
I like it. When's this article coming out?
It'll be out maybe an hour and a half after we're off the air here.
Okay.
So around 6:30ish.
Will this be in your behind the ballot piece, or is that two different
this will
articles?
be behind the ballot piece.
It is a fantastic piece that you need to read each week during the football season from Eric Hansen. Rip Jules says, will this be a true roundtable, Mike? Or should we ask for a refund? It 100% is a true roundtable. We got 2 extra people joining today. Kyle Kelly will be on with us in a few minutes, and then national college football analyst, former Penn State offensive lineman, and one-time near Notre Dame commitment, Landon Tengwall will be on with us. So looking forward to chatting with Landon. Let's just start real quick, Eric, with reflecting on this win. Notre Dame beating up on Pitt. As you've continued to write about this game, you've listened to the press conferences, all that stuff. What are your biggest takeaways?
My biggest takeaway is this is what Notre Dame's game needed to look like to give them a chance not to get pushed to the bottom of the playoff bubble.
Sure.
This is what they needed to do. And the defense continues to improve. And where I was really impressed, Mike, were the areas where Notre Dame was the weakest at the beginning of the year, the offense and defensive lines. They showed up in this game. There were 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. And then it also shows up in what happens in the back end of the defense. You have an interception. You have an interception on a 2-point conversion. And then you look at the offensive line, 175 rushing yards, 100 roughly against the number 3 rushing defense in the country. Allowed 1 sack. You think back to when they played Miami and Texas A&M, how problematic those 2 areas were. This was kind of a retest. Now, Pitt isn't as full of a team as those 2 teams are in terms of everything they do, but they test you in the 2 areas where Notre Dame was weakest back in early September.
I mean, Jay Love was running freely from the get-go. I tweeted during the game, I was like, this is the vaunted Pitt run defense. This is what I've been hearing about all week. And for multiple weeks, like, this is it. I mean, Notre Dame made them look silly. And Notre Dame, go back to June and think about what Notre Dame's O-line is. You have the whole interior offensive line has changed. And Notre Dame just does that to the number 3 run defense. So maybe we should call up the Joe Moore Award people and have them reconsider. Maybe they should have done it a week later because I mean, to not have them as among the 10 semifinalists, I think is, I think it's crazy, but also I can't say that I've studied the other 9 a ton. I just, follow and cover Notre Dame, but man, to think that Notre Dame doesn't have a top 10 offensive line unit in the country, that would surprise me if that's accurate, Eric. Did you have let's talk about your AP poll if you don't mind. So,
sure.
Or your AP ballots. So you have Of course, Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Indiana in the top 3. Now, for folks looking at this on YouTube, let me zoom in a little. My zoom in function on my computer is a little funky. So to the right, you have, this was what you ranked them last week.
Right. One of the people on the board asked me to do that. I thought that was pretty reasonable because I don't base my rankings on what the actual poll was last week.
Right.
I keep a running poll all season.
So your top 3 has remained unchanged: Ohio State, A&M, Indiana. You moved Georgia up a spot to number 4. Ole Miss a couple spots to number 5. Oregon remains at 6. Notre Dame moving from 8 to 7. And of course, again, this is an Eric Hansen's AP ballot. Oklahoma, after beating Alabama, goes from 11 to 8. Texas Tech, number 9, unchanged for you. And then Bama slides from number 4 to number 10. And then I will also pop up on the screen the AP poll, which I tweeted out last night. I'm really interested to see what the committee does with Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Alabama, considering all 3 have 2 losses now. Now, this is obviously not the committee. We'll learn about that on Tuesday night, and we'll go live right after to discuss it. But the AP polls usually fairly similar to what the committee will do. So
at least at the top.
At least at the top. So it's got Oklahoma 8. This is the AP poll. Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, Alabama 10. Eric Hansen has Notre Dame 7, Oklahoma 8, Texas Tech 9, and Alabama 10. So what is your reasoning behind that 7 through 10?
Well, you want the takes to be shorter, and it would take me a long time to explain, but I look at the whole season. But, when I was doing potential matchups, I had no idea beyond Ohio State and Indiana who would be a good matchup and who would not. I was shocked at when I dug into the Alabama numbers. And I was a little bit shocked at the Oklahoma numbers as well. I made my poll before I did that. I just think Notre Dame has a better overall resume. But I will say this, from 5 to 10, there is, if somebody said, you're full of it, Eric, I would say you might be right, because I spent probably 45 minutes agonizing over those spots and really going over the whole resume. For example, Oregon, their stats look good, and you start to say, well, okay, since Iowa lost to USC, who has Oregon beaten of note? Who's, and you can't just focus on that. They've obliterated some teams, but they didn't have a very difficult non-conference schedule. And you're like, okay, they lost to Indiana by 10 at home. They beat Penn State, not a very good Penn State team, in overtime. So I'm agonizing a little bit, and I think the Alabama brand gets to you. But when I looked at their resume, especially losing to Oklahoma at home in November, I said, you know what, that Florida State game has to count in this. Not very much, but that's still a loss. Them losing to a crummy, unranked team has to be part of their resume. And Notre Dame didn't lose to crummy, unranked teams. Yeah. I mean, those are some of the things that you toss
by 2
around.
Touchdowns too. That FSU
by 2
game.
Touchdowns too. I don't think they're that team anymore. But especially when I dug into their numbers today, I went, whoa, maybe I have them too high, or maybe this is a team Notre Dame would want to play early. And again, we're talking about picking poison. We're not talking, that this is any of the playoff games would be easy. I'm just saying who would be a more favorable matchup. Alabama would be one of the most favorable matchups Notre Dame could draw.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, pulling back up your list, I think Ole Miss and Oregon, you have it right. I still think Texas Tech should be above this grouping of Notre Dame, OU, and Bama.
I'm not. I could see that point. Here's where I have trouble with Texas Tech. You have a conference, and I've mentioned this before. Now that Iowa lost and Pitt lost, they've played 2 top 25 teams outside of their conference and lost them both. And it makes it really difficult to judge. You can easily judge how they stack up against each other, but how would they stack up if they have to go outside of their conference? What's that going to look like? At least the American Athletic Conference has gone out and played people in the Power Four, and they played ranked teams.
Yeah. So, okay, you said they played two. Who played two top 25 teams outside their conference?
The 16 Big 12 teams collectively.
Got it. Okay. I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
I mean, that's not very much, and that's not a very good record. And one of those was Oklahoma State playing Oregon. But you look at Texas Tech's
They've just
out
been
of conference.
so
They have been so
dominant.
good against, except for Arizona State when they didn't have Baron Morton, and they need to keep him healthy because their backup quarterback situation is really scary. But
yeah,
can you tell me who Texas Tech played in the non-conference? There's no way you can.
I mean, I have it pulled up so I can.
Okay, here's who they played. Arkansas Pine Bluff, who's not even a good FCS team. Kent State and Oregon State, two of the worst FBS teams there is. The Athletic does a 1 through 136 ranking, and those two are way worse than anybody that's been on Notre Dame's schedule. So when they chose to go outside of their conference, they chose Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State. And maybe they scheduled Oregon State when they were a legit Pac-12 team. They're not anymore. And so there's a lot of schedules like that with the Big 12. BYU's out-of-conference schedule is kind of like that as well. And so they really didn't challenge themselves outside the conference. Iowa State at least played Iowa. But it's
with just so many difficult variables to weigh over each other. I just all right, one loss and some quality wins, and they've blown out pretty much everyone. They don't have a single close win except for losing, of course, on the road at Arizona State, which is a 7-3 team. They're third in the Big 12. It's not, but I don't. This is a Notre Dame show. I don't want to get in the weeds about Texas Tech.
Well, I'm just saying they're hard to judge. I could be absolutely wrong on them, and they could be overranked. It's really difficult to tell. But when you look at their numbers, when you look at their metrics, they look like a team that belongs in the playoff. They are very good on defense. They're very good on offense.
Yeah, it's like you have Oregon at 6 and Texas Tech at 9. I could see an argument for Texas Tech over Oregon, which to your point, you did say 5 through 10 is difficult here.
Oregon is the team I'm least confident about having that high. Texas Tech is the team I'm least confident have that low.
Okay.
Everybody else I feel pretty good about.
All right, we're going to bring in Kyle Kelly, my fellow blue and gold recruiting writer, in just a few moments. Before we do that, how about Homefield? Has some new play like a champion. They have the long sleeve, the heavyweight tee. I think the heavyweight tees are awesome. And then just a normal tee. I think these are really sharp looking. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish game breaker jacket. Look, to pick this up and it looks super retro, super sick, but it's not actually retro, right? It's going to smell nice and new in the year of 2025. I think that's a huge win. Homefieldapparel.com is the place to be for Notre Dame fans, and it is the exclusive apparel sponsor of this show. They're the premium collegiate apparel brand based out of Indianapolis, and they've built their name by making the most comfortable, officially licensed, vintage-inspired college gear out there. We're talking hoodies, crew necks, tees, bomber jackets, hats, you name it. Go to homefieldapparel.com, check out their Notre Dame line, and obviously they've got a massive lineup of schools from across the country to choose from. Again, homefieldapparel.com, check it out, find your favorite design, and get ready to rep your Notre Dame gear in style. Wow, this looks new to me as well. This quarter zip is, with the golden dome, that is really sharp. I like that a ton. Yeah, Homefield, no one's quite doing it like Homefield. No one's doing recruiting coverage like blue and gold. I know Kyle and I were both on the road this past Friday. We're both writing up our reports. You'll be able to find that at blueandgold.com. Kyle, everything good on your end, my friend?
Yes, sir. Excited to talk some Notre Dame football, maybe a little college football playoff.
That's where we're going next. So this is the college football playoff bracketology from Andy Staples. It's obviously guessing what the committee will do and then what that would mean for the bracket. He thinks that Oklahoma and Bama will rank ahead of Notre Dame. And I mean, Oregon in the 9. What? Let me pull up the actual bracket from last week. Did he drop Oregon down, or am I just misremembering this?
The one thing too about Oregon, Mike, when you're looking that up, is
He
they
did.
have some work ahead of them that's going to
Good.
help define them. USC this weekend, Washington on the road Thanksgiving weekend. So we're going to learn a lot about Oregon the next 2 weeks.
Just a little surprise. So, up on the screen right now, this would have been the projected bracket based on the November 11th ranking. And yeah, he's got, I mean, this is what, okay, if the playoffs started last Tuesday, Oregon in the 8 seed, Notre Dame in the 9 seed. So it's interesting that he has Oklahoma jumping both Notre Dame and Oregon. So yeah, what are your thoughts about this, Eric? Like what stands out to you? And then Kyle, you can chime in.
Without giving away too much what's in my story, if this happened, Notre Dame fans should not be mad.
Yeah.
They're on the side of the bracket with most of the favorable matchups that they would face. The more favorable matchups are on that side of the bracket, you're almost better off being the 10 than you are you're certainly better off being the 10 than the 9, and maybe even the 8 and hosting the first round if you have to play Ohio State next. But that 10 spot isn't the icky spot that you think it is. To me, in terms of matchups, Notre Dame would actually benefit from being on that side of the bracket.
Kyle?
Yeah, Eric, you either teed me up well or stole my point. I don't know which one, because that was the same.
Well, I've been doing a few hours of research today, so hopefully we weren't both working on the same thing.
No, I mean, mine was just more observational. I think that with the way that the bracketology is situated, there's so much that's going to change from now until the final rankings. Like you mentioned Oregon, like they have a chance to either bolster their resume or hurt themselves with the USC game. And, Georgia still has another big game. Or maybe not Georgia, but I know Texas and Texas A&M.
Georgia's got Georgia Tech.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that
they're
going to
wipe the floor with Georgia Tech, I think.
Obviously, the conference championship games, we'll see if the committee actually hurt or, disciplines, I guess, the teams for losing in their conference championship games. But anyway, my point is that I do think that side of the bracket is more favorable to Notre Dame. I think the 10 or 11 seed is probably where you want to be. But, as Eric said, you want to avoid, in my opinion, you want to avoid Ohio State as long as possible. The next time you want to see Ohio State is in the national championship game. I think they've established themselves as the team to beat in college football. They're obviously last year's reigning national champs. Notre Dame just had trouble with them, obviously, under Marcus Freeman, and there's a lot of teams that have had trouble against Ohio State. But when you look at the bracket, like, as a Notre Dame fan, that you've beat Indiana, you beat Georgia, you beat Texas A&M. All that's within the last year, and in the Texas A&M case, a little bit longer. So no matter how the bracket shakes out, though, Marcus Freeman is proved time and time again, last year more than any other, that Notre Dame can win big games, and he can take Notre Dame, the places they want to go.
It is interesting, but the difference between like a 7. Kyle, do you want to share who's calling you with the whole class? I mean, it's the year 2025, and you guys both have your phones buzzing and whatnot. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, it's kind of how it goes. I actually had a phone call before this as well that I had to postpone.
I'm just busting your guys' balls. I'm gonna pop this up on the screen. Bud Elliott from the Cover 3 podcast, his playoff. Now, this is a playoff projection. Okay, so the bracketology was popped up. That was if it started today. Now, this is what Kyle removed himself from the stream, but didn't mute himself. That's funny. So this would be what he thinks is going to happen. So he's got Alabama, who just lost to Oklahoma, then in the 3 seed with Georgia in the 5 seed, Notre Dame playing in the 8-9 game on the road. at Ole Miss. What does he have happening here, Eric?
He has Alabama playing in the SEC championship game and winning that. That's where I think he gets his
over Georgia,
Texas A&M or Georgia.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not well versed on the tiebreaker scenario or where it's trending for who's going to get into the SEC title game.
Alabama and Texas A&M would be the teams that would play right now, but Georgia could end up in there, as well. So, but Alabama does have a chance to get in there, and if Texas A&M loses, I was looking at all the tiebreakers today. There's still too much to untangle, and these conferences deserve it, having these complicated tiebreakers.
I mean, and such freaking big conferences. That's something we're going to get to in a minute. Like, I think we've talked about this on a show recently. Like, what the hell is the point of conference championship games anymore? Honestly, especially based on how the committee viewed them last year. It was like, and now you don't even get the first round bye guaranteed as a conference champ. So what the hell do they do except for they make money? Because if you lose one as like a 2-loss team or a 1-loss team, still might be good. Like, what's the point of them?
I don't think that there's a point for the SEC and the Big Ten. I wonder if there are going to be years that there's a point for the Big 12 and the ACC, because Miami's outside looking in right now, and they need a lot of chaos to even get to the ACC championship game. And I'm not convinced that if they got there, they wouldn't win it. But I just don't think enough weird stuff's going to happen for them to get in it. They need to have at least 3 teams lose another conference game, and I don't think that's going to happen for them to get in a tiebreaker. And even then, they need the tiebreaker to go their way.
Yeah. One other thing on the bracketology, and let me pop this back up. Like, the difference between if you're Notre Dame and you're playing the 7 or the 8, I know Oklahoma just beat Alabama. It's a very close game, right? It's not a big difference. So you would like to avoid being the 9 seed. You don't want to be the 9 seed. Being the 10 seed is just going to be better. It's not like you're playing on the road in both games, and it's not going to be that big of a difference between the quality and teams. But if you win that game, I think there is. I personally think it's Ohio State is the best team in the country, and then I think there is a gap, and then I think it's everyone else. Am I alone on that? I'm asking my folks with me on the screen here, Eric Hansen and Kyle Kelly, and everyone in the chat. Like, Ohio State just seems to be damn good. They are playing so good. I think they're going to beat Michigan by 30 points.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought last year as well. And that was at Ohio Stadium.
When you again dig into the numbers, Indiana's numbers are pretty impressive. Here's where you tap the brakes. Is they looked really impressive last year going into the Notre Dame game, and they didn't hold up in the playoff. The other thing is, again, Indiana scheduled very soft in the non-conference. And when you look at some of the teams they played, now they did play Oregon and they beat them. But you look at their conference schedule, they play the bottom teams in the Big Ten. I think they might play the 5 bottom teams in the Big Ten. So the luck of the draw kind of helps them. And again, when you have Indiana State added into your numbers, it inflates those numbers. So how real are those numbers going to be? Their Oregon win is helping them. But when I compare Indiana and Ohio State in blind resumes, Indiana might have the slightly better resume of those metrics, but Ohio State's numbers to me are real. But I think Indiana is a team that can beat a lot of the teams in that bracket.
Yeah,
I do.
I think so too. I do have in the headline of this YouTube show, we reflect on the 37-15 win. We haven't really done a whole lot of that, but we did start the show. But Kyle, what were your big takeaways from Notre Dame's win? Not to shift us too far off track that we're on right now, but thoughts on that impressive win for the Irish, 22 points as a 12.5 point road favorite.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to say anything that hasn't already been said on these platforms, but
please do. You did last week. You said about keeping gloves and a microphone in the same drawer, and that was
and where the hell is the microphone?
Yeah, I'm in Cleveland right now, so I did not take it with me.
Yeah, it's
But,
too difficult to take. I get it.
Yeah, well, I got some car trouble right now. Hopefully,
Oh, buddy.
I have
See,
a
nobody else said that on this platform.
That's
So
true.
you came through, Kyle.
So I had my car repaired last week, and now I got a check engine light on all of a sudden and a check oil light, and so that's just a major pain. And your boy here likes to travel a lot. I'm going to be in South Bend next weekend, so hopefully that's nothing major. I don't think it is, but I caught some slack yesterday on the Loose Emoji message board, especially from Mike Singer, because after Tay Johnson had that pick six, I tweeted this out as well. I said game, set, match. And I know I can be quick with the keyboard, and I think it was a little premature. If I had to do it over again, I don't think I would have done it. And believe me, I would have had known it if Pitt came back and won that game. However, I thought it was pretty clear early on that Notre Dame established they were not going to lose this football game. They made Pitt look overmatched.
Yeah.
They made Mason Heichel, the most cliche term ever, made a freshman quarterback look like a freshman quarterback. Notre Dame showed from the start that Pitt wasn't on the same level as them. I felt right away from the get-go that Notre Dame or Pitt was overmatched. And they got some calls to go their way, and there's a couple CJ threw a pick, and I know they had the late pick six and everything like that, but I think throughout the course of that game, you saw that Notre Dame was the better team from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So I had no concerns about Notre Dame losing that game yesterday, and Notre Dame just continues to, especially now lately, get better and better each week. And I don't know if we're going to talk about CJ's performance or not, but another statement victory for this Irish team.
Yeah, I thought CJ was fine. Tyler Horka tweeted out something about, this is like the USC game, and I was like, and then I got into it on the message board. I'm like, I think we have put CJ on such a high pedestal. If he struggles at all, it's just like, CJ Carr was bad today. I'm like, he said that Notre Dame won in spite of CJ Carr. I really wanted Tyler on this show today so I could ask him about this. Like,
it's funny he said that, because one of my talking points was going to be that Notre Dame is still winning because of CJ Carr, not in spite of him.
I mean, he does so much at the line. Think about the one-handed catch by Fields and the touchdown to Fields. Those happened because CJ drew the guy off sides and then decided, yes, let me throw the ball downfield to one of the best wideouts in the country. Like, he's doing so much. The pick was bad. The first pick was bad. I could not believe when I tweeted out about Carr, the responses that I got from people who were like, well, Mike, the second pick was so bad. The guy was standing in front of him. I'm like, do you guys know football? When you have a screen called, your job as the quarterback is to catch the football on the snap and throw it out. There's no reading. You throw the football out. Now, could he have sensed that the Pitt defender was going to blitz? Like, could he have sensed that and just taken a knee or fallen down or run for a couple? That would have been ideal, but that's not what you're supposed to do. He is supposed to throw the football out there as quickly as you can. Like, that's not something he's reading. That was not on him. That was, if you want to blame anyone for the second pick, it's on Denbrock, or it's just the Pitt defender made an incredible play. Like, I was baffled by people who were like, oh, he's got to see that. Like, guys, do you know how many NFL quarterbacks get picked on screens for things like that? Like, that just happens. Blame Denbrock. Credit the Pitt nickel or safety, whoever that was. It's not on Carr. The first one was bad. That was a bad pick. Carr should not have thrown that ball. He just did not see the safety. But Carr's fine, man. 21 of 32, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. One was bad. One was not his fault.
Pro Football Focus graded Carr's passing performance and his overall performance as the second worst of the season behind USC. Passer rating was the same, second worst of the season behind USC. But maybe this isn't the right conversation to have without Horka being on here, because I don't want to bury on him too much, but I don't know how you can say that Notre Dame was winning in spite of CJ Carr when he threw those 2 touchdown passes. And yeah, Malachi Fields made a heck of a grab on one of those throws. And then, CJ also had a rushing touchdown. And to be honest, this is probably a whole nother conversation. I don't know what the heck Mike Denbrock was doing on that 4th and goal with the ball at the nose of the football on the goal line. I think Mike or some of these coaches, I think they kind of outsmart themselves sometimes. And I understand there's a little bit of a challenge with, for whatever reason, here's a whole nother conversation with CJ Carr not really operating under center. But I said after that long replay that Notre Dame should dial up CJ Carr and run him the way they did later in the game. So yeah, CJ Carr is winning football games for Notre Dame, and I think that's going to be the case later on this season as well.
Yeah. I'll make it a talking point on Wednesday for our 6-pack, because our Tuesday night show, I'm not going to be on it. I'm out, but it'll be Hansen and Horka. Maybe you guys can talk about it then, but I definitely want to talk about it on the 6-pack. I mean, if you want to say he hasn't been himself this afternoon, I get it, but in spite of him, I think that's I don't know, man. In spite of, think like Drew Pine throwing for 90 yards.
Yeah.
Like where the quarterback has nothing to do except for hand the ball off and throw a 5-yard out or something. Like, I don't know. Eric, do you have any thoughts on this?
I do. Do you really want to hear them?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
wait, unless it disagrees with my point, then no. You can.
Eric's about to come in hot here.
Well, I didn't see the tweet, and I don't know when in the game that he tweeted that. And
2:46 p.m. and this is so. I mean,
well, we talked about this a little bit on the post-game show last night. I included CJ Carr in my 5 thoughts. I think, given the context of that game, I think he really performed well. And I mentioned in my story that out of the pass efficiency numbers, it was 9 out of 10 for him for the season. And yet that is still better than me, still number 3 in the country right now. There's 2 guys ahead of him, the Ohio State quarterback and the Indiana quarterback. That's it. He's still on a trajectory to smash the school record that was set in 1949 and matched in 2009. But it's not even about necessarily the numbers. It was how he, on a day where maybe he didn't have his best numbers, he had his best poise and resilience. He came back. He always had an answer to the bad stuff, to the mistakes. And I really thought that was important. I also think against a team like Pitt, that was 3rd in the country in run defense and was one of the best sacking teams and tackles for loss teams, that he was great in terms of sliding protections. He was great in terms of checking out of bad plays into good or great ones. And I think that's what doesn't show up in his stats, but that would show up in Jeremiah Love's stats, would show up in the offensive line giving up 1 sack because they were in the right protections. And I think that's where CJ Carr really brought value in this game.
Yeah. Horka did tweet today some stats about Carr, and he also said living up to the hype, exceeding expectations. I don't know, Tyler. You're all over the place, brother.
I mean, like, Kyle, you can do whatever you want, but I wouldn't tweet game, set, and match that early in any game, just because what does it get you? I mean, do you get a prize for saying it first? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying.
No, I'm an idiot. I send stuff too quick all the time. Just like how before Eric joined Blue and Gold, I called him all pissed off because he didn't give me credit for breaking news, the news of Elijah Golden's commitment date. When the grand scheme of things, it didn't mean anything. And Eric gave me some great advice that day, but I probably should listen to his and others more often.
Well, Kyle, you have such great insight into football. You really do have a really good football mind, and there are things that you
I agree.
illuminate people in the midst of a game, like you kind of know the backstory, and sometimes you're on the field and you're seeing things that we're not even seeing in the press box. And a lot of your tweets are great for saying game, set, and match. I mean, neither one of us were in the stadium, and so maybe you felt a little bit like, what, I need to be doing something with my hands at this point. But I like your tweets. I think your tweets
lesson
are awesome.
learned.
I do too. And no, this is the fun of the roundtable. This is very much, look, I'm giving these guys crap about their phones buzzing and stuff, and we're giving Kyle crap, and this is the fun of the roundtable. This is the fun.
In my defense, it was my daughter-in-law who I said specifically, I'm going to be on a YouTube show between 4 and 5. That's the one time not to call, and of course, that's when she decides to call. But she's got 6 kids, so she has to work that in the midst of that schedule.
Hey, I did predict 33-18, and 37-15 is about as bizarre as 33-18. I feel like I got that thing damn close. Yeah. And it really, that garbage time touchdown really hurt my
I think it hurt.
Chris
I
Ash.
think it really made Pat Narduzzi look like a small-timey coach, especially when he bragged about it in the press conference. Well, it showed we didn't quit. Okay.
It's like, okay, dude. Kyle, I know that you got to get ready to get to your other story. So that you're writing about on Matt Sig. You saw him, the Penn State safety commit, and Notre Dame flip targets. So I'm gonna let you get back to that, Kyle. A lot of fun today, man. You always are entertaining and insightful, my friend.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys
love having you on here, Kyle.
Yep.
Right.
Now I'm gonna write this story, and I'll get to have the lovely Cleveland Browns on in the background.
I'm pretty sure you almost said
you were going to say in the bathroom.
I mean, the Cleveland Browns do belong in the toilet.
So what? Real quick, I think this is the only time the Browns don't have a 1 p.m. kickoff this year.
We're going to bring in Landon Tengwall in just a minute. Rapid fire. Eric, I saw this from Brandon Walker, Barstool. He said maybe we should have. He did tweet this when South Carolina was blowing out A&M. Of course, A&M came back to win. He said maybe we should have done a better job of noticing that all of Texas A&M's SEC opponents were below this line. And for folks listening to this as a podcast, above the line is A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, all teams that A&M hasn't played. And they've only played the bottom half of the SEC, which is just like a point to the conferences. They're just too damn big. I mean, at what point is it like it's kind of like an independent thing? Because like you might not play Georgia for like 4 years or so. Like seriously.
Yeah, the conference schedules aren't equal, and sometimes there's big gaps in who plays how difficult of a schedule, and that's the only one kind of saving grace of a conference championship game if you really want to reward a team that's maybe played a harder schedule playing a team that's played a weaker schedule. Maybe it resets it. But I did look at that when I look at Texas A&M, and yet they've taken care of their business, and they also have a road win at Notre Dame.
Right.
That counts.
Right.
So
of course. But yeah, I don't necessarily.
That's a deep conference too. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't want to play those lower division SEC.
Yeah, like Arkansas might be the best 2-win team of all time. Like seriously, like Arkansas is still a good football team. Yeah, my point is bringing that tweet up wasn't necessarily to agree with it. It's just like to point out like, holy crap, like these conferences are really just way too big. Two Tap says it's almost like the conferences are dumb. Historically, no, but right now it just needs some work. I don't love where these big conferences are at. Before we bring in Landon Tengwall, let's talk about that it's time to lock in the Saturday showdowns with BetMGM. Whether you're betting the underdog or riding the favorite, take your excitement to the next level with the college football odds boost token. Log into your BetMGM account to receive your token, then place a bet on any college football matchup with your activated token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. Claim your odds boost token and be sure to activate it before placing your bet. The game's about to kick off, so feel the rush and own the moment. BetMGM, make it legendary. Landon,
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing? Sorry, at the crib today, handling some things.
Oh,
Mike Singer sends me a text. Do you want to get on, break down some Notre Dame film? There's no way I can say no, and also I'm hanging out with Eric Henson, so it doesn't get better than this. So we're taking a break from setting up Thanksgiving, Christmas decorations to break down some Notre Dame film.
the juxtaposition behind you from the Tiger Woods to the bunny art is awesome. I'm loving
Thank
it,
you.
brother.
This is welcome to my base. If I just tilt you just a little bit here we go. We got the whole cat.
You're a cat guy?
We have a cat in the basement. It's we have a cat in the basement.
Is it your fiance's cat or is it your cat?
It is my fiance's cat. So
Okay.
you know how that goes.
I love it.
It's her Tiger poster too. Actually, she's a big time golfer, so I get my butt kicked all the time. But I'm getting a lot better. I'm taking lessons. Actually, just started last Thursday.
Nice.
So we're trying.
All right. Well, before we look at your film, I got one for you.
Oh boy.
All right. Mike Golick Jr. tweeted this out. Bro, the two things I saw when he tweeted this out was one, Sullivan Absher here, the left guard, getting to the second level, so good. And then Jeremiah Love just breaking a guy's ankles in a phone booth.
He's ridiculous. We might as well start out with him.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, I think Landon would appreciate it. So, but we'll pop on your.
He's something.
Pop on
I'll
your
tell you
phone.
what.
Well, all right, walk us through it. What you got?
Well, we're running a lot of counter here, and I'll just tell you. Oh my gosh! Look at him. Look, imagine.
There's 23 again, brother. There he is again.
Oh my gosh, he's on the ground. He had a rough day, man. No, I mean, he was actually all over the place. So they're running counter here. Great down blocks, combo block here, moving guys, getting up to the linebackers. Rardon throwing great blocks all day long. This is anytime you get this wall on this side, you get some great pullers on counter. It doesn't get better than this. And then if you get J Love here, this is all you need. Oh my gosh, he runs right into his guy. That is up there. Was it Braxton Miller? It was Braxton Miller, right, with the spin move at Ohio State. That's up
down
there
the left sideline. Yep.
Yeah, that's up there with that spin, like all-time college football. That's beautiful. This guy's moves. Listen, I don't think you could see this on TV, but because on TV, I'm sure it looked like number 3 gets tossed here. But watch this. J Love actually snaps this dude's ankles. But I mean, you got good blocks all over the place. But I want you to see this. J Love he's going to fake outside right here, and then he just one cuts vertical. Watch 3. He doesn't get shoved. I promise. I've checked all the angles. It's really not him getting shoved right here. He's off of that. And he's running to it and just completely stops. He doesn't get tripped either. And just J Love just stopping, just sends this dude, boom, just actually snaps his ankles. I just thought that was beautiful.
Hey, that's my play. That's the play I showed.
Oh, wait, was that the one you showed? Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it. Great minds.
Oh,
Great
I didn't. I guess I was zoned out on your play, Mike. I have to admit now. Look at that.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man.
It
was a beauty, though. He really dropped him. Well, here we go. This is my favorite part about Love and Price, honestly. The ability to bounce. I mean, this is supposed to just hit vertical. This is duo. You're just up the middle. Sometimes this can hit outside, but you get to a point right here, and it's just like, all right, I think I have the edge even out here and just bouncing this thing.
Who missed the block there? Was that Pauling should have?
Yeah, my guess is Pauling probably should block that. I don't know who else he'd be blocking, so he probably
who else was supposed to block him? I mean,
yeah, no, I think that's probably on Pauling there.
Everything else was a hat on a hat.
Everything else looked good. Like the blocking for the most part all day was pretty good, but when you have Love just 23 just getting whooped to the edge, I mean, this guy, look at this.
Was that I think that was like a 3rd and short or 4th and short. Maybe?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was a 3rd and short. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and you thought, he's going to get caught in the back.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
no, he's not.
No, he's not. No, that was absolutely beautiful from J Love there. This one right here, his influence. It's a very similar type of run here, and his jump cuts, they're just nasty. Like they're just straight up how this dude. So watch how he presses this vertical. Like he would see it right here. Like he already knows. Like he sees the gap. He sees I'm going to cut out to the left over here. But he just instead of just straight up just diving over here, this is what makes Love so good. Is he'll press it this way a little bit, knowing he's not going to hit it here. That's completely cut off down here. Press it, and then boom. Then he's one cut. And look at the space he has now because he pulled this linebacker down, straight down instead of down to the left here because he pressed that thing vertical and then just that footwork, that's what Love was born with. That's Jawan
Yeah.
Sider helping out. That's everything. It's beautiful and just gets out of the bad territory there where you are, backed up on your own end zone. You're 1, and now I'm getting you 1st and 10 and giving you some breathing room here. So great job by J Love right there. Is that everything? Wait. Oh no, we have one more here. The offensive line was blocking great.
Yeah.
Was blocking really, really well. So if you watch this here, kind of going like a mid zone, but you secure the down linemen, both climb up, and now you do a great job. You seal off both guys, and then both linebackers play kind of over top. So both offensive linemen just take them where they want to go, and that's the nice part about having a running back like J Love. I know if I'm Lambert, I can just push this guy. I know Love's going to cut off. He's not going to miss this thing. Boop, one cut, back cut, and just getting vertical, getting yards. So J Love was J Love yesterday. He should be in. Do they still go to New York City? Yeah, they still go to New York City for the Heisman. Yeah, he needs to be there. So we'll go out real quick.
Do you have what else do you have, Landon?
We got a couple more. We'll stay on offense. I'll go.
Can we put a pause in that? Ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
Are we doing any Carr?
We do have. I have a lot. I have a couple Fields plays that I want to put, and I have Carr interception as well. So I got a couple Carr things.
Okay. Before I want to ask you a couple questions, Eric. I know you had a question specifically for Landon that you wanted to ask him this week. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I did, and I can't remember what it was, but I do have a new one.
Okay, and I know you have your behind the ballot, so I don't know how long we're going to go with Landon. So feel free if you have to pop out at any point, you can. Of course, I want you to stay though, Eric. Okay, Landon. Notre Dame missed the Joe Moore Award semifinalist cut, top 10. Do you disagree with that? Like I was like, I don't agree with that at all. I think that's great. No, I haven't studied the other 9 or the other 10 teams in it, their offensive lines, but it just seems like to me this Notre Dame O-line's been so good in pass protecting. 3 starting offensive linemen out from preseason to now, and still they're blocking like this against Pitt, the number 3 run defense going into the game. Now, of course, the semifinalist was named before this Pitt game, but still, I think it's bizarre. Where do you land on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I have slight bias here because I watch all the Notre Dame games and I see some really good stuff on the O-line. I think the other piece, and I know the Joe Moore Award guys very well. Aaron Taylor is kind of the creator of it. He's on the CBS crew.
Who did he play for?
He played for just I don't know, some coach.
Yeah,
some coach named Joe Moore that coached somewhere. I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just realized he's like not trying to show favoritism.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Miami game like still lingers. I don't think it should.
Maybe, yeah.
But maybe that's like still lingering in their minds. And I'm like, maybe. But I think a big piece of the Joe Moore Award is that the unit and the fact that you've had 2-3 positions where you're moving guys around, you got injuries, and you're still playing at a high level. I think that's even more warranted to be able to be up there for the Joe Moore Award.
One more thing from me, and then we'll go to Eric. What do you make of Notre Dame in the red zone? I mean, heck, even that Love play on 4th, it was 4th and short. Someone said, Love, you needed Love to bounce it to make that work. Like, is it that they don't trust certain positions down in those situations? Is it just Denbrock overthinking things? Like, what do you make of Notre Dame and their short yardage woes? I mean, look, they do pick some up, but like the throwing it to Raritan on 4th and an inch from the inch-yard line, like what do you make of some of these things?
Yeah, so it does feel I don't know, it does feel like they're almost maybe a little afraid to get and drop back and just let CJ Carr sling it, because the 4th and goal where Notre Dame didn't convert, it was you went run, pass, and the last 2 passes were both like pick plays. Like, I know Pitt was playing a lot of man, and so those wide receiver pick plays, they work. But it was like there was no real like, all right, let's scheme some guys open. Let's let Fields eat up some space and quick slant against man coverage, like whatever it may be. It does seem like there might be a little bit of hesitation to just like put the ball in Carr's hands and let's go through reads and throw it, which is weird to me. Well, because I feel like that,
But you're okay. So but I'm talking like 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line, or like 4th and a few inches, right? Like at the other team's 40.
Oh, you're just saying physicality.
Yeah, like why are
oh.
they not running the ball? Like,
well, I don't know. Maybe that's maybe the short yardage is another reason why they didn't get selected, the Joe Moore Award. I don't know. Maybe they don't trust the O-line. I don't know. I would, especially given the one of the Heisman favorites, the ball to get 1 yard. I generally feel pretty good about that. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I'm with you. There's some things that I feel like Denbrock just kind of misses on a little bit. I think sometimes he spams, those screens sometimes and really loves, and part of that's Carr because it is an RPO where he throws the wide receiver screen or he can hand it off. And there was a couple times that I thought Carr made the wrong decision.
Did he on the pick? Was that an RPO on the pick?
No, it was a wide receiver screen. I thought the same thing. Yeah, the O-line just takes off to go block the wide receiver screen.
You almost made me look like an idiot if it was an RPO. I would have owned it, but I was slamming my fist on the table that pick is not Carr's fault. Well, is that a play you're going to pop up and talk about?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah,
okay, all right, great. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that one. Eric?
Good.
So I'll ask you, Landon, I get this question a lot. Why doesn't CJ Carr on those 4th and 1, 3rd and 1s line up under center? What is the advantage for him being in the shotgun?
I don't know. I mean, you can kind of, I guess you can see stuff, but yeah, I think traditionally, I'm a traditionalist. If it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, let's get under center. And you can hit more stuff out of it. You can hit a boot out of that. And I love Jeremiah Love in the flats or Jadarian Price in the flats off of a boot too. Like there's more things you can do. I don't like short yardage running out of the shotgun. I really don't. I've never understood it. Maybe I'm a football purist, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all, to be honest with you. Eric.
Is it because they just don't practice it? They don't want to fumble on a center quarterback exchange?
I can't imagine that you're that afraid of that. So no, I don't know. Like I said, like there's certain things I don't know. I feel like with offensive coordinators and defense coordinators, but like there's so many times it's like the average fan that's like, I don't get it. Like explain it to me. And I don't want to like call Denbrock dumb, but there's just some things that he does that just like don't make sense to me, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Don't call him dumb. He'll come after you.
No, he's not dumb. I think he's a very good offensive coordinator. Sometimes it doesn't all the way make sense to me, some of his things, but hey, it's all good.
That's all part of us watching games as we get to be the offensive coordinator.
There we go. Exactly. Armchair quarterback. Let's do it.
All right. We got more offensive footage up on the screen.
Yeah, we are. We got a little Fields cut up here. And what I love about like Fields just being the jump ball guy is 2 of these were offsides. There's 2 highlight catches were offsides where Carr was just like, okay, I got you on the hard count. Completely offsides right here. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to put this one up top. I mean, what a one-handed. When was the last time when I saw this? I want to know. I didn't really watch Notre Dame football. Is this better than Chase Claypool at Notre Dame? I really don't know.
That catch was.
This catch was all right because I'm a Steelers fan, so I had a bad experience with Chase Claypool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, just beautiful. So yeah, that's Fields right there.
Yeah,
that's what he does. It's just the ability to have a jump ball guy. Same thing. You get an offsides. Carr's eyes snap to Fields. I'm giving up top to my guy. Just high point it.
I mean, he's Notre Dame's best receiver since Claypool, right, Eric?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, only have him for a year.
I think what was really interesting about this game is, what if it's kind of the start of more consistent of this?
Yeah.
Because this is what I think the coaching staff thought they were going to get from Malachi Fields when they signed him, and now we're starting to see it in more consistent stretches. And that would be exciting if he's that guy in the playoff.
Yeah,
that's going to be a problem for teams.
And so, speaking of that, Eric, I really think as CJ Carr and Malachi Fields really start to develop this rapport, like they're starting to really feel confident in each other. Carr sees this. He's looking out here. He's like, all right, I got my guy. He's in press man coverage. He's running just this little comeback route, this little curl, and he throws it before he's really even out of his break. Where he releases it, it's not even like he just started coming back to the football. They're just starting to get really good timing. And the other thing I love is Fields is such a quarterback-friendly wide receiver because you see where he stops. So he stops right at the 40-yard line, and good wide receivers attack back to the ball. So by the time he catches it, comes all the way back to, the 48-yard line? 43-yard line. So he comes back 3 yards, almost 4 yards to help out his quarterback. Not to say it's like a bad pass, but I think that's good. It creates separation. It gives Carr time to get the ball there. But just the rapport that they're building, the trust, like Eric said, I think you have this deep in the playoff run. This is going to really pay off, and he's going to make some big-time plays.
Early in the year, Landon, Mike Denbrock, a little bit of his frustration with CJ was that he'd have Malachi in a jump ball situation that he knew Malachi could win, that Denbrock knew Malachi could win. CJ wasn't confident to throw it, so he'd throw it out of bounds. He just didn't feel like he could get it into that window. Now he does. Now he knows that he can get it to him. So you're right about that chemistry just improving over the season.
Yeah, no, it's fun to see. Like I said, it's gonna pay dividends here in a couple of weeks, that's for sure. I have a new agenda that I want to create. I mean, I know some fans already hold this thought process. I want Knapp at guard. I don't care how you do it, but in my opinion, Joe Rudolph is hurting him because this guy could be an All-American guard. That's just how I feel. I just want to show off some plays where he just collapses this thing. Jay Love throws a nasty block, but watch him on this down block, defensive tackle down here. Watch him just come down, 2 hands in, just aggressive as hell. He's so strong and in quick spaces, and that's where I love him. He doesn't have the long strides to be a tackle or like super long arms, but just absolutely buries him. And then watch Jay Love right here. We'll go back a second. Watch him come in on this block right here. 23 got it all day. Wow! Just laying it on him. That's just the physicality. We're gonna watch some of Don Schuler here in a second, but just laying blocks. But I have to start this Knapp agenda that I need him to become a guard at Notre Dame because I think he can just be so damn good. He's playing great at tackle, but watch the physicality here, coming down, just putting 2 paws in, and you feel this when they're starting to go like this and they want to spin back inside. Watch him just toss him down. Just get on the ground, just so physical. Like, this is the stuff that gets me hyped, man. I will say, is it right here? Is it center? Had a little bit of a rough day, not gonna lie. Just at times, there was some times where it all wasn't great, but overall, I had to point out some Knapp things. I got one more play here. He's just acting physical with him all day. Hold on, one more right here. Oh, I wanted to point this out. I just wanted to make sure that Price kind of struggles here. Price tries to go 2 hands under, kind of lunges and gets around this. But I got to continue my Knapp agenda, just how strong he is. Like, if he can just do that, because when he's just right here, when someone's that close to him and he can just put paws on, he's so strong. His grip strength is so good. But the problem is, like, when he is having to cover in space versus a DN that's all the way out here, like, that's not his strong suit. That's why I'm saying this guy needs to be put. But, like, look at him. This guy's just Eleven's trying to swipe his hands off and literally just yanks him down. Like,
so you're saying he struggles with the edge rushers who are trying to get real wide and getting out to them. But if it's close quarters, it's over.
It's great. And part of the reason people might say he gets bull rush because he can't get back quick enough. So he doesn't have a good base because he's trying to, like, fly backwards. When he is able to have a base, and like you see where he's not getting rushed straight off the edge, he's so good. So this is my plea to Joe Rudolph to just, I don't know how you need to move around. Maybe I wouldn't right now. I wouldn't mess with it, but I just want to put it out there that Knapp is a fantastic guard, and that was kind of the qualities I saw at a lot of this tape.
Ironically, I talked to both Knapp and Rudolph this week, so I've got some little backstory I can give you on that. I don't think it's out of the realm of him moving to guard in the future. And this is why he ended up at left tackle this year, was they were going to look at Gerby Lambert out there and Charles Jagaza both. And they were, Charles Jagaza was so good against Penn State at guard. Let's look at Gerby. Then Gerby gets shoulder surgery in the spring, and they weren't sure when they would have him back. And so Knapp had experience at left tackle. Let's leave him there. And then Gerby comes back a little bit earlier, but now you've lost Jagaza. So they thought, let's plug him in there and let's leave Knapp out there. But I don't think Joe Rudolph would argue with you that Knapp's best position probably is guard. He goes, when he first came in here, I had him training at center and guard. But it became apparent to us in 2024 as we were approaching the season that he was our best option at left tackle. So he's kind of been the default pick, and where his future probably is inside. So you're absolutely on point with that. And I think probably in 2026, if they have all the pieces and they can pick from everybody, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely understand it's out of necessity. And like I said, I wouldn't rock the boat here. You got things that are working, but I still have mentioned that I don't know if there is a better answer if no one can come back. But I still think I worry about Knapp sometimes versus those edge rushers where there's speed and he's got to move. But you got to do what you got to do with the O-line. So sometimes guys got to play out of position. I got the Carr interception here. So it's not Carr's fault in the sense of like he was supposed to throw it, but he just doesn't see it. He's looking straight here and then just snaps eyes and throws it no matter what. And just misses that he's got a blitzing backer coming off the edge here. So I'd like him maybe just identify this just for a second because if he sees that.
Yeah, Landon, it's like if you do see that, great, but it's not like that would be like going above and beyond. Like, but
yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
That it's the perfect play call for Pitt, and yeah, it just sucks. But yes, that would definitely be. I agree with that. That would be fairly high level if he's able to just dirt this here because your thought is I'm looking vertical for 1 second to just try to hold anybody I can, and I have the screen snap throw, and you just didn't have time didn't see it. But yeah, I agree. That would have been high level if he would have been able to do that.
And harsh to blame that on Carr.
I agree. I can agree with you. I can agree with you. But if we want to talk Heisman, you're making that play to find a way to dirt it. I'm just saying.
Well, we're not talking Heisman.
Yeah, we're not talking Heisman.
Not yet.
That's the 2026 train. So let's not make these plays then. But hey, you'll be.
I just got to make sure because I was dying on some hills. And I got to make sure I was on the right side of it. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, it can be up to interpretation, but I will agree. No, I don't think this was fully on him. It was the perfect play call by Pitt. So
okay.
If you want, we can hop over and run some defense real quick.
Do it.
If you guys are in for it, let's do it. All right.
Yeah, man.
Do we want to start with the Tay Johnson pick? We want to go Schuler or Trayori cut up? We got all of them.
I'm excited about all of them. So Trayori, I'll start with Trayori. I'm very looking forward to that.
All right, let's do it. All right, so I thought we had a really, really nice day, kind of under the radar. This is Heinzel's really good on moving around under pressure, even though he was getting clobbered. But watch this move here against this right tackle. A lot of times Trayori does he does his best work when he's already engaged, and then he plays with their hands. So he kind of just goes in long arm into bull rush, and he feels this right hand high up on his shoulder pad. So he takes his wrist and just jacks him up. See that? Completely takes his wrist, controls him, throws him. That is where he gets pressure. But I think part of the reason that we get the sack here off the right side is because he has to spin out because Trayori gets, boom, 2 hands in. And this is what I mean. He kind of really likes to get hands in and then push. And now he's going to pull him, boom, get around. And that just kind of forces Heinzel to feel like he has to spin out. And we're able to meet him. Great job on all accounts by the defense here. All right, next play. I thought this was a really athletic play here by him. So he's playing the option. So he's more so playing outside, but it's a great job. Once Heinzel decides, all right, I'm pitching this down to Reed right here, playing both, and then I'm going to knife down, boom, go make the play, be explosive. So, versatile. We've seen him be really good, I think, honestly, in a lot of run game. So now he's over here. He's going to drop. They're going to bring this stunt this way, and he's going to drop out. Watch him track here. He's getting into coverage, and as soon as Heinzel loves to spin out, he always spins out. Watch him. Let's just go hunt.
So this is really good to watch and learn, Landon.
Yeah. No, it's certain things like certain guys. If I just write their name 3 or 4 times, probably at least through a game or more, where it's like that's really good stuff. I a couple times. I just thought that was really nice to go to cover sideline to sideline. All right, let's go a little Tay Johnson. I want to show this interception, and then we're going to look at something that this Heinzel's had kind of shown tendency to do this. So they're just running this wide receiver out in the flat, and you're basically just getting a curl. It's a curl flat combo. You're hoping to kind of put guys in a rough situation, and Tay Johnson just breaks on that sucker right away. Great instincts. Heinzel does not really even see it at all. When he snaps the curl, I don't know what he was thinking. He did not check it. We had that a couple times by both quarterbacks. Cars kind of look like that. But I want to go back because I was studying NC State, and I think Johnson saw this, and you see it's very similar here. That should have been a pick. It's similar in a sense of this is a little bit of a deeper route combo, but you basically have this little hitch, and then you have a skinny post here, and he just doesn't even see basically what Johnson was playing. He was playing one of the linebacker positions because of the rotation of the defense. and just threw it right to him. So NC State's linebacker was not able to capitalize, but good thing Johnson was. But this is what I saw when I was watching tape. When I mentioned at the end of studying Heinzshaw, I was like, sometimes he'll stare stuff down and not look. Never even peeked over at 33 here, and so this was very similar. I will run it one more time, but very similar situation here where he rotated down, doesn't even see him, throws it, except Tay Johnson takes advantage of this one.
Yeah, Tay Johnson, superstar in the making for the Irish. Do you have Carr's other pick?
I can pull that up if you give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Don't have to.
All right. All I got left is Schuler. If anyone want to watch,
Yeah, I would.
If you want to watch a little, if you want to finish off a little physicality, let's finish off our Sunday evening with a bit for this Pitt offense here. Right here, coming from the one high safe, bodies on dudes. Like, I love the energy. You just see him fly down. A lot of guys, you can make that tackle, but you can just absolutely level the running.
Yeah.
And then the last piece, interception here.
Yeah, and a playmaker.
Really like this. He sees this wide receiver, tries to run a slant, and he's just on top of that. Literally jumps it. I mean, runs the route for him. He's on top of it. I don't know why Heinzshaw still decides to throw it. He gets some pressure in his face. Schuler's there.
And the pick, too.
And the pick. What I love is everybody racing down. Defense having fun. Guys getting out here, getting in front of block, throwing blocks all over the place. Great stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of from watching the tape this morning. That was kind of encompassed a lot of things that I saw. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that was pretty much it. I did put a note. I thought, what is on defense? Devonta Smith. I thought he had some really nice plays.
Okay.
Thought he had some really nice plays. So I was impressed. You guys have 2 different Heisman winner names on your defense. Has that been talked about? Devonta Smith and Bryce Young. Sorry, had to put that out there.
We put that together, but I didn't put the 2 Heisman winner thing together.
I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Did he throw to him?
Yeah, Bama guys
too, right?
Through
Bryce Young threw to Devonta. No.
That was Tua.
No, that was Tua. You're right. I thought that was interesting.
Well, it was the guy that was the graduate quarterback that came from Florida State. I can't remember his last name. Was the guy that threw it to Devonta Smith at Alabama, his Heisman Trophy year, because Notre Dame played them in the playoff in 2020.
Oh yeah. Why am I drawing? Chat will help us out. I forget.
I wasn't even paying attention to it. I'm trying to look.
But you were mentioning number 3, who was really good on defense for Pitt, and on offense, he had a bad day. I mean, after he got hit by Adon Schuler on that's a Blue Hicks kid who really is a pretty good wide receiver. He didn't have a catch the whole day against Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was a physical type of defense being played. So I think you come out, make a statement, but it is the same reoccurring theme for Notre Dame, where you walk in to a hyped up matchup where other people are picking the team against you. They're saying you're going to lose, and then you go in, you handle business easily, and now that matchup somehow didn't actually matter, and that team wasn't good at all. It was just a joke, and Notre Dame still sucks. That's what I see from the national media. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. I had to put it out there.
Mac Jones is the dude's name.
Mac Jones. Mac Jones, was he at Florida State? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. I think
all right, hang on. Let me.
No.
My guys.
I think because
you're right. Who was
a Kentucky
graduate? They did have a quarterback that started at Florida State.
From Bama to Florida State?
No, from Florida State to Alabama that didn't play at Florida State. Hang on, let me.
Well, now we have to figure.
Well, all right. Well, while he pulls that up, I can't believe I popped up 2 Brandon Walker tweets. I have a Brandon Walker story that I can share one day. This is his Heisman top 5. I doubt he has a vote, but if he does, I like this. He's got Julian saying number 1, Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love 2, Fernando Mendoza of Indiana 3, Gunnar Stockton 4, and then Ahmad Hardy from Missouri. You like it, Landon?
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to win except Sayin and Mendoza, unfortunately. It's like the NFL MVP. It's the same exact thing. It's a quarterback.
Jacob Coker?
Yeah.
Jacob,
That's
where
like
you were
2009 or like
yeah, Eric, you're pulling that from the depths. I think that was before I was even in high school.
Well, look how old I am. Come on now.
I'm sorry. He was the 2015. I'm way off. He's a year older than me. Okay.
2015. Okay.
So he played at FSU from 2011 to 2013, and then Bama 2014, 2015.
Okay,
I thought that
thank
was like
you.
2009-ish. You're vindicated, kind of. Kind of.
2015 wasn't that long ago for me.
I thought it was a lot.
For me,
Okay,
I like how
Landon,
you prefaced for
let's
me.
see if you can get this trivia question.
All right, I'm
I've
ready.
been a Heisman voter for a long time. Who was the first guy that I voted for? And they had it in a spreadsheet because I'm now the chairman for the state of Indiana. Who was the first guy ever voted first place for the Heisman? It's a quarterback, if you can guess.
Wait,
You
was
can guess
ever
it,
voted?
I'll buy you breakfast in South Bend.
Yes, Eric. Thank you for that. I appreciate you actually offering breakfast. So, it was the first quarterback to receive a vote ever? or the first one to win?
It's the first time I voted for the Heisman,
For you,
and
okay.
he won it. And
Well,
it was
what
my
year?
first
Yeah,
place
you
vote.
wait. You got come on. You got. You
Well,
got to
that's
give me a
what
little.
I'm saying.
Can you
okay.
give me a decade? Give me at least a decade
80s.
or like 80s.
That's how long I've been voting for the Heisman.
You casted it for Kerry. No, 80s. Geez, no. You casted it for. Oh God, I don't remember who won in the 80s. 90s would have been better for me.
Okay, I will tell you who finished second. Keith Byers from Ohio State.
Oh, well, of course,
probably
Keith
doesn't help you.
Byers.
Keith Byers. There you go. No,
Of course.
of course,
You
it's
guys
Keith
don't know
Byers.
who Keith Byers is. Oh,
No,
God.
I think I do know that
I
name.
know
but
you
no.
know who this quarterback is. He's
All right, what
he's,
year was it? You got to put what year it was now. At least.
all right, I'll say. Well, then you can Google it. It's 84.
Oh, is it Dan Marino then?
No.
I don't know.
Oh no, Dan Marino's on the
Undersized
Dolphins by then.
quarterback.
Damn it, Rejon in the chat.
Undersized Doug
Trying
Flutie.
to cheat.
No,
Doug Flutie.
yes.
Oh,
Swear to God, I didn't look that up. Once he says undersized, I was like, all right, I believe it.
Doug
Flutie,
Flutie,
was
the
first
Hail
guy
Mary.
ever voted
Yeah, the
first for Heisman.
That's a classic right there. Good stuff.
Huh. And then the circle of life brings him to the Notre Dame booth a few years ago, Eric.
It did, and he was not good at it.
Yeah.
Yo,
I felt like Doug Flutie showed up and he felt like it was good enough to be Doug Flutie. I didn't feel like he did the deep research.
Eric, I'll take your word for announcers. I've said for years, I just don't care for announcers.
You know, my guy,
I
Alan
don't care.
Pinkett's my guy.
Yeah, we had Alan Pinkett on our pregame radio show on Saturday.
That's a very good family friend. I had him on the show last year for Notre Dame Penn State.
He's awesome. I
he's
know
great.
Alan real well.
One of the best comments for talking commentator side.
Well, he had some good stories because somebody on our board wanted me to ask about beating Dan Marino and Pitt when Alan was a freshman. And he had a great story about it. And Pitt was number one, and Notre Dame beat them with the Jerry Faust team.
Well, boys, I was supposed to help my wife out with the baby 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to go down and do that before I get in trouble. But I'm going to ask everyone to hit the thumbs up on this video. Amazing stuff today. And not only is this, it's more than ostensibly free. This is just free, this show. Hour 15, phenomenal stuff going through, the Notre Dame Pitt game, college football playoff talk, bringing in Landon for a half hour, breaking down film, again, for free. Great stuff. So make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Go follow this guy. Look at him. Go follow him on Twitter. It's at Landon Tengwall. Make sure you do it. TENGWALL. Go follow
Just
Landon
like
Tengwall.
his little name tag says.
Hey, there's people listening to this as a podcast. We get a decent podcast.
It is free. It's free. It doesn't cost money like elsewhere.
Come on. Jeez, Landon. All right, folks. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, we will catch you next time.